I'm Elaine Pereira, author of I Will Never Forget, a daughter's story of her mother's arduous and humorous journey through dementia. In brief, my mother's was a story that needed to be told. She was a kind, brilliant, and accomplished person all of my life until dementia took hold, leaving an agitated and bewildered person in its wake. My mother was a great mom, not unlike all great moms, except that she was mine. In the end, she needed an assisted living facility, partly because she had made it very clear that she did not want to live with her children, and she had the financial resources. Taking care of someone with dementia is a huge responsibility, and it requires a unique skill set unlike caring for other individuals, partly because you cannot rely on them to give you accurate information on anything. No matter how long or short the list is of issues to think about, they all condense into one major theme: safety. If it's self-care needs, you want to know if the person can cook their own meal without setting the house on fire. If it's money management, are they vulnerable to giving away their entire fortune to some unscrupulous charity? Medications, are they taking them? Can they be relied upon to take the right ones at the right times? Can they make their own appointments? And more importantly, if they do, will they follow through on the instructions given to them by the physician? Are they vulnerable to strangers, letting anyone in their house because they live alone? And wandering, which is an incredibly frequent characteristic of Alzheimer's specifically, puts them in grave danger. If you can't logistically be a part of your parents' time-consuming care and ensure their safety, a facility that does is probably your best option. Having someone taken care of in their home can be orchestrated by families and caregivers. It's expensive and it's a logistical nightmare, but it can be done. What to look for in an assisted living facility? Keep in mind that the elegant lobby is decorated this way for your benefit, not for the person who's going to be there. I agree that it needs to look clean and inviting, and not like this, but other than that, the elegant lobby is for you, and it just means they hired a good decorator. There are many, many variables in selecting an assisted living facility. Certainly location, cost, amenities, which is services, their reputation, and one of the items I want to stress here is waiting lists. So if moving your loved one is an issue that's coming up on the horizon very quickly, you might rule some places out because of waiting lists. There are pitfalls of touring. Please keep in mind that the marketing director is there to sell you something. That doesn't mean that he or she is lying or misleading, but you need to listen carefully and explore everything that they're saying and make sure that you understand. Listen and learn. What I did, and I recommend, is that you go back at different times and that you wander into places like the kitchen. Talk to staff. Open doors and see where they head you. Watch at the behavior of employees. Do they help someone in a transfer? Or do they have a death grip because they're annoyed that they have to move this person again? Listen carefully to what you don't see right around you and pay attention to those subtle nonverbal cues that can speak volumes. Despite knowing what to do and doing everything right, my mother got out of her locked assisted living facility and was outside for 5 hours because 2 employees made some very, very bad judgment decisions. The rest of her care, however, had gone very well. That said, this may happen to you too. It can happen to anyone, regardless of how well you do your homework. If you made thoughtful decisions out of love for someone else, regardless of the consequences, then you have done well. But safety is the number one. And if they cannot be safe in your home or theirs, then it's time to think about an alternative and a placement that can provide what you cannot. Thank you.